Hey guys! Hello and welcome to day 3 of our 5-day challenge. We are halfway there. Woo woo. Okay, so I am Gloria Payoyo, your leading destiny activator, and I help people go from looking good on paper and on social media to their personalized sacred path to true happiness. So kind of going from looking good to actually being on their path to true happiness, true fulfillment. Today we are focusing on boundaries. So what are they? Why do you need them? And what are some common misconceptions? So boundaries was a completely different, they didn't even exist in my world. And I was raised to take care of everyone else. I was raised to be a people pleaser. And I was raised to, that if I wanted something or if I needed something for myself, I was being very selfish. So boundaries weren't even a thing for me. And it's taken a lot of work to develop some boundaries. There are some great books out there. The one I read was Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud is I think the one that I read. It's got like a red pencil on it. And it was phenomenal. And it shifted and reframed the way that I look at boundaries. So going from a boundary-less person who didn't like hearing no, who overextended herself, and who was so scared of making anyone else angry, right? Everyone had to like me, to having boundaries has completely changed things. I'm much happier. I'm living my life based on what is good, important, and healthy for me, and that's a huge shift. And that's something that I hope everyone gets to. So what are they? Imagine them as fences. So we are given things to protect and to hold and to take care of. And because they're given to us, including our lives, because we are the most important, right? We need to set up like a delineation, right? Like between me and my neighbor, we have fences, and that makes it very clear. This is mine, that's yours. We are neighbors, and we are connected, and we are friends, and we care about each other. However, this is what I'm in charge of and what I'm responsible for, and that is what you are in charge of and what you are responsible for. So it's not anything bad. It's just a clear line of who's in charge of what. So for example, the way that I was raised to make everyone happy. Okay, so doing the work, I can't actually make anyone happy. I can maybe make them laugh, maybe, however, I can't get someone to true happiness. I can enable them, but this is hot empowered mess movement, not hot enabled mess movement. So in empowering, you're actually encouraging them, showing them, and maybe sharing some tools and techniques so that they can do the work for themselves to truly be happy, because that's long standing, right? Like if I know how to, it's like teach a man to fish or give him fish, right? If they know how to fish, then they can go out there and then they can create that, and then they don't have to rely on other people, and that's the point. And especially when you're talking about happiness, you don't want your happiness in other people's hands, and you don't want other people's happiness in your hands, because there's not much we can do about it. It's like when you go and someone's in a really, really bad mood and you spend a lot of time and energy and effort into trying to improve their mood. It might last for a little bit, and then you might have to do it again tomorrow. Versus them being empowered to take care of themselves, because their mood, their attitude, their life, that's their responsibility. Once they take full responsibility of that, then they can make choices to where they're always coming from a full cup, so it's easier to be happy. Or maybe the choices, they need to go in to do some deep healing, and maybe they're not happy for a while because they're working through some past trauma or something like that, and that is the responsible choice for them. It's just a clear line. That's all it is. We need them because we need to know what we're actually responsible for and what we have control over. And this isn't about control. In fact, boundaries are the opposite, right? Boundaries are about, look, I'm going to take care of what I need to take care of. I'm going to let you take care of what you need to take care of. And I respect your free will to do what you need to do. So it's actually sort of the opposite, right? When we're trying to make everyone happy or trying to make everyone like us, that's actually a form of control. And I live that. And I didn't think that, but I lived that for a long time. So we need them so that we know what we're in charge of and so that we can do the very best at taking care of that. And I said this yesterday, you know, it's like when you give your child a gift and they take care of it, then you give them something a little bit more valuable and they take care of it. And then you kind of are constantly expanding on what you're giving them because they're doing a great job of taking care of what you've given them. Same for us. That's our lives, right? We want to be responsible for our lives. We want to take care of our lives. We want to handle what is given to us so that we will be given more and we can grow and we can expand into the purposeful life that we want to create for ourselves. They're good for clear lines. And here's the crazy thing. I hated no. When I was boundaryless and I was an enabler and I loved to enable other people and I loved being enabled myself, I hated no. But as I made that shift and really started to value what I had and really started to care of myself, and like self-love and self-care are so unselfish, because when I'm full, I always pour and there's no hook or there's no expectation. There's no I give to you, you give to me. It's just I choose to give freely, period. And it's so freeing. And so that's what they're good for. True freedom, making decisions not based on guilt. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more tomorrow, and I've got a solution for that. However, not living out of guilt, not living out of fear, not living out of trying to take care of everything else and leaving yourself last and wondering why you're overwhelmed and frustrated and sometimes resentful. It's good for being clear and staying clear with the lines of who is in charge of what. And so some common misconceptions. I've addressed a couple with the selfish, taking care of yourself is selfish. And I have notes, so if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes to make sure that I'm staying on task. So some common misconceptions. Having boundaries doesn't mean you don't care about people. For me, it's actually been the opposite. When I did things for other people in the past, it was so I could get back. I didn't know that at that time, so it's not like I purposely was going out. It was just no one was feeding me, so I knew that if I gave, I would get back, and then I could sort of be fed that way versus feeding myself and keeping my cup full. It doesn't mean that you don't care about people, and I'm going to give an example. Okay. The best way I heard it was in that boundaries book that I read. So we all have a knapsack, right? And those are things that we inherited, and that's like our own personal stuff, like our bills, you know, our health, our diet, our house, our family. And that's our responsibility, right? So we have a knapsack. It's easy for one person to carry. It's our responsibility to carry it and take care of it. However, once in a while, something heavy, and our knapsack becomes like a U-Haul, right? So we can't carry that U-Haul by ourselves. And in that moment, that's when we reach out and offer support and uplift and empower and inspire our friends, and sometimes pick up a piece of their U-Haul or get behind it and start pushing along. Sometimes that's where we reach out and we start helping them versus helping so many people with their knapsacks that they can be responsible for, but are choosing not to be responsible for, and then not being able to be available for the friends that are going through that trauma or tough time or are trying to lug that U-Haul by themselves. And so it's actually the opposite. It's saying, I believe in you, that you can take care of yourself. And I'm not talking about when someone loses their job, unless it's a pattern of them losing their job. I'm talking about trauma happens, something out of the blue, or big life changes that are either they decide on or are handed to them. And so that way, because we are free and we're not overextending ourselves, we can truly reach out to help that person that we care about when they really need us and help lift them. And that might be a big U-Haul that they may need to carry. If someone's parent passes away, or a child, or something that's big where they might need a lot of love and support for a while, we can do that because we're not overextending ourselves for other people with things that are basic. Boundaries has to do with our kids too. I can tell you, because I was raised that I had to take care of everyone else, my kid didn't even clean her own bathroom, and she's 16 now, which she does now. However, it took a long time for me to tell her, clean your own room. I was the one cleaning it for her. However, those are skills that she needs to learn for herself so that she can take care of herself. She can take care of her house. That's her knapsack. It's not my job to carry her knapsack, but I needed to let go of carrying her knapsack and empower her versus enable her. So I hope we've cleared some things up about boundaries. They are so important, and once you accept and create your own boundaries, you will love when other people hold their boundaries, because at that you get to the point where you truly respect other people's free will and you truly want what's best for the other person, and you're not trying to impose or trying to take over or trying to overburden. You're really kind of at a clear space, and maybe it's, hey, I'm in a rough time and I really need some support at this moment. Do you mind supporting me? Or maybe it's, I got this, don't worry about this, I can help you because you need some support at this moment. So it doesn't mean that you don't care about people. It doesn't mean that you don't take care of people. It means that you take care of people and you're available to people when they truly need it, versus ones that are becoming reliant and enabled, and not taking care of their basic things. So I hope this has been helpful. I'd love to hear from you, so please comment below. Do you have boundaries? Do you not have any boundaries like I used to? Are you working on boundaries? And congratulations for being halfway through this. Really, really excited about what's to come. Tomorrow, we're going to start talking about the guilt and the shame and how to deal with it. So tomorrow, it's called 10 minutes to F the guilt, and then you can figure out what the F means. We'll say forget, but it's actually a 4-letter word. So if this resonated with you and you're ready to get off autopilot and you're ready to create the life of your dreams, that you're excited to jump out of bed, message me directly or visit www.hotempoweredmessmovement.com. Thank you so much, and I'm going to say this every day, for investing the time in yourself. You taking care of you is the best thing you can do for me, and it's the best thing you can do for those that you love and you care for. Because as you get into full alignment and start living your life on purpose and doing what you came here to do, other people will start doing it too. And that's how we reach everyone with our different purposes and our different loves and our different values. That's how we reach everyone and just make this world a better place. So I hope you have had an amazing day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.